Welcome. Welcome to our Sustainability and Diversity and Building Innovation panel. So we are living in a time of unprecedented challenges and opportunities. And we want to affect our planet and society. The climate changes, the pandemic, the digital transformation, and the social movements are calling and urgent and calling us for action. So how can we leverage the power of technology and artificial intelligence to really change and course correct where we're going? So we will try to do a speed dating. We only have 45 minutes, so if you can please do a speed dating introduction, and we'll start with you, Canabarro, please.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Canabarro, IT Director for AXA Insurance Brazil. And I have developed my career working for multinational insurance companies. I'm an agile and innovation enthusiast, and I believe that agility is much more than technology. Agility really helps the strategy of the company. I'm Brazilian, married, and father of Maria Clara. And besides IT, I love endurance sports, especially road cycling. And I believe that both IT projects and endurance sports have a lot in common. Both require passion, strategy, and resilience, and the most important, enjoy the journey.
Very nice. You should talk to track and field about health and fitness. Thank you. And
I'm a consumer.
Yeah, wonderful. Let's go to Gustavo.
I am Gustavo Rodrigues. I am CEO at Evermind. Evermind is specialized in Salesforce platform company. We were acquired in 2021 by Compass UOL, and I have been working with IT for the last 23 years. It sounds weird because I feel like young. Not today. I'm feeling in bad shape, but all my career I worked IT, and I did my master's degree. I have my master's degree focused on artificial intelligence, which turns out to be a good thing these days. So in Evermind, we are specialized in Salesforce platform. As I told you, we are a truly multi-cloud company, which means we work with sales, service, marketing, commerce, analytics, integration. Every module Salesforce is actively selling to their customers we work with. So if you guys need something, please call me. And we are focused on Salesforce Industries as well, formerly called Velocity. And speaking of which, we have this DNA of knowing or trying to know a lot about the industry of our customers, not only about technology, but know about the industries they are based. So this gave us kind of recognition of the market. We are market leaders in Brazilian Salesforce market. We lead all the quadrants of ISG research for 3 years in a row, the only Brazilian company that could do that. And yeah, it's pretty great for us. But related to the theme of this panel, the most important thing we do in Evermind is about sustainable inclusion and diversity. So we have a lot of programs there in place that help partners of us, like Litros of Luz. Litros of Luz is an international organization. They started in Brazil, but they bring light for people and local communities that doesn't have electric energy. And they do that using only simple plastic bottles. It's pretty awesome. Instituto Superação, they help the young people from public schools in Brazil to keep in their way to success using sports OSESP, the Symphony Orchestra in São Paulo, Brazil. We help them to collect and to control the donations of the people that supports all their events. So we're trying to do everything we do for our customers, all the specialization, technology specialization, and knowledge about the industries for giving back to the society as well. So that's what makes more happy about the company.
Thank you, Gustavo. Dao, for you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Gotta wake you up somehow, right? So I'll try my best. My name is Dao Jensen. I'm actually a single mother of 4 and not a technologist. I don't know why Alexis invited me here. I was his classmate, I guess that's all. We graduated Harvard together last month. No, actually, I'm a founder of Oak Rocket and CEO. Bootstrapped my company as a single mother of 4 10 years ago. And we are one of the fastest women-owned companies in the United States in the Fast 50 by Chase Bank. And an AWS partner, one of only 6 women-owned partners of their 9,000 partners in the world. See, I got you to wake up. So I knew nothing about technology. I got into Sun Microsystems on accident as a finance analyst, hated the role, and realized I wanted to be in sales or something that let me talk all the time and listen. So this is why I'm here, is really using finance and technology together to help people save money, especially during the recession. We grew 87% year over year last year, and helping companies save money on their AWS bill in multi-year contracts.
Congratulations. Marcia, to you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. We are between now and the river cruise, yes? Then let's go first. Let me introduce myself. I'm Marcia Wolf. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, the most beautiful city in the world. If you don't know, go there. The slides? Yes, no, before? Yes, oh. And I'm yogini, then I practice yoga with track and field. I wear track and field a lot. And I'm mother of 2, but they looks like 10. They are much more difficult than my day by day and the working day. I worked at financial and I worked at telecom for so many years. The last 5 years I was in charge of digital transformation at Vivo, some of friends here, and where I met the Compass. In that time was Compasso, but I'm very happy to change the name as we change the world, you know, then it's good. And a few years ago I changed to a new environment. Now I'm in the health insurance, take care of people, and I'm very glad to be part of Qualicorp. I think it's in your side. Yes, give me, yes. Now, about Qualicorp. Qualicorp, it's an administration insurance plan. We connect more than 10,000 brokers to 100 operators in health insurance. And we take good care of 2.5 million clients, customers, and we have one purpose: to be better life, since we are in a health insurance. And we are in whole Brazil territory. And as we are in a sustainability and diversity panel, it's very wonderful for me to share our values. Our values are about people, it's about person. How can you take good care about our people, our customers, our employees, and our families. So this is our way to be the Jeito Qualicorp this year. And so we are now working on Quali of the Future. We want to reach the stars, want to grow a lot. And for this, we put the customer in the centric. And now, for our winning strategy, we are focus on brilliant basic. Do the basic brilliance. It's our focus. And of course, put data to drive the business and put the customer in the centric. That's our purpose. And we are working very close with the Compass now and two wonderful, wonderful challenges. It's my baby, it's a new Quali app. We'd like to put the app Quali in the hands of our customers, and we hope to give back the time to our customers. Now we're talking about the give back time to the business, but we'd like to give back time to our customers and give them one app, then they can self-service anything, anytime. And another thing that my dream is evolution in new e-commerce in health insurance. I don't know if you know, but health insurance, it's too hard to sell. It's a lot of paraments to complete and to drive this journey, this sale journey. So we are working with Compass, and the next year, I hope to be here showing you how be Swift success this project using AI. And no, Felipe, we need so much you to help us to in this journey, this new e-commerce. It's a little bit about me now. Let's go to the cruise. No.
Thank you, Marcia. And Roger, to you.
Yes, hi everybody. My name is Roger Rohatgi. I am the Global Vice President and Head of Design for BP. I oversee global design as it relates to digital and user experience and UI all over the world for our company. And I feel very honored and privileged to be the first design leader and designer in BP's 100-year history, which is trying to put humans at the center of everything we do. And being able to build something that's actually never been done before in a company this large, but and build it from the ground floor is actually quite exciting. I spent the last 25 years of my career in the design space in B2B, B2C, B2B2C, agency side and brand side and all that in between, and was in television and film and produced a film that won an international award and launched and created social television and partnered with people like Mark Burnett, who created Survivor and The Voice and these shows, and moved into lots of tech and social and had a lot of influence. What was an app that we worked with Twitter that became, I don't know if you know that app called Vine, but that influenced these apps called TikTok. I don't know if you know that one. I think it was mentioned earlier. And so I felt like really bad because I think I needed to apologize to the world for being a part of that at the beginning or whatever. But yeah, so it's been quite a journey in digital. And the reason why I tell you all that, that history about what I've done and where I've been and what I'm doing now is because all these companies, all these organizations, every single one of you probably here, you all have the same challenge. We all have the same challenge. Whether it's the silver screen, the big movie screen, whether it's the small screen on my wrist, every single human, right, is the key to our success. The challenge that all of these companies have, and that I worked with, and all of these brands, and all of these organizations, and whether it's in the film world or even in the television world, they had one challenge. How do they engage people? How do you reach people? How do you put people at the heart of everything you do? Because we all know that there's real people with real heartbeats on the other ends of all these digital screens and devices. They have real needs, they have real challenges, and so how do we solve those challenges and meet those needs? And so our company, BP, was no different. They reached out to me at the end of 2019 on LinkedIn, and they said, hey, we see what you're doing. Would you come here? And I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? This is crazy. Why would you need people from the tech world? But it turns out they're going through a massive digital transformation. And not only a digital transformation, but they're going through a massive energy transition. And so this energy transition is something we'll talk about a little bit if we have time. It's probably the thing that's impacted me the most, because what we're doing is not just for our generation, but generations to come when we're no longer here. We're not just designing for one human, we're designing for the future of humanity. We're designing for what I call PLX, planetary life experience. It's a whole entire future of what we're trying to do to be able to create a sustainable world as we march toward net zero. And it's companies like this that can make the change. I feel just really blown away that I get to do that, and I've established something called HXD, which is called Human Experience Design, which combines UX plus CX plus EX, which is that employee enterprise experience. Because if you don't have that, you really can't have a great UX, and you can't have a great CX, a customer experience. So HX is the key. But remember, this is all about our planet as well. And so how do we put people and planet on equal footing? So, so some of the things I talked to Ileana about and others, and Gary knows this as he invited me here, so thank you, and thank you for having me as well with Compass. I feel privileged to be able to talk about the fact that we are working hard to put people and planet on equal footing, and doing it in a way that brings forth several concepts. Sustainable design, and the future of what that looks like, and also now launching inclusive design in our company, which looks at accessibility, inclusivity, equity, as well as diversity, and how we can remove bias and really design for people in the right way and put them at the center. Because BP, just like all of your companies, are all trying to, and we're all trying to connect at the end of the day with a human. And so, thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger. You just described that it starts with the design, and if you have those things in mind with inclusivity and sustainability, then everything changes from the development life cycle. So thank you. And Fred, I know you already did your introduction, so if I can ask you a question about retail industry overall and sustainability, because there is carbon footprint that is growing like crazy because of all the shipments and the usage of packages, and also reusable fast fashion. So what can we do, and what can you do in terms of retail industry to really disrupt and help with sustainability and innovation in that area?
Thank you. As you guys know, I'm co-founder and CEO of Track and Field. So talking a little bit about our effort on ESG. So we do have obviously been working on the packaging side, both on the events. We are removing plastic from events and from packaging on the retail side as well. But I think the biggest effort that we have in Track and Field is related to the social part of ESG. We obviously, with the retail part and the events part, we are working on connecting people to a more active and healthy lifestyle. We've been recently working as well, and we launched some stores with TFC Food and Markets, which is an operation that works with healthy food. And as we built our platform, the idea is for us to create an ecosystem where we can look into a consumer and give them activity like sports activities, fashion, food, and in the future health on the platform. I think obviously it's important for us, and I've been studying this more close related to how sports and diet can influence the health of people. I think we'll be seeing a lot of movement on that side, and the TFCO with Track and Field and TF Sports, it's positioned itself to try to promote that change on people. So the idea is to make people more healthy and have more active lifestyle. Obviously, on top of that, we have the sleep part, which is very important, and the mental health, which is it's a subject that's been very popular after the COVID. So that's the part that we've been doing.
Thank you, Fred. You can keep us active so we can sustain ourselves. Right? Thank you. And Canavaro, back to you. Last question on sustainability. I know that AXA is an insurance company and traditional company, but you're doing so much in sustainability and diversity. So if you can share just the bullet points of what you guys are doing and how are you changing that industry that is so traditional in the way of the culture, and it probably stands in the culture, right?
Yes. Insurance business is a very traditional market, and we need to change this. In AXA, we are always spreading the idea that sustainability and innovation are responsibility of everyone. Any employee can present an idea, and just simple present a very simple business card, a very simple business case, it's possible to approve it. And if approved, there is a process of gamification for reward the employee. And for each green idea deployed, AXA donates money for charity. Then we are moving on the company, we are increasing sustainability and donating money for charity. Then in this way, we are moving a lot. The business, we have digital inspection for claims, where the client can make the inspection using his smartphone. It's not necessary the client or a person from the company drive a car, reducing carbon footprint. And at the countryside, at farms for crop insurance, we use geolocalization and even drones to check it.
Amazing. And it sounds like when we talked, you mentioned about it starts with the culture and starts with their purpose. So everybody's connecting to the purpose, so everyone can feel the purpose for themselves, so they can be more efficient and they actually strive to help with sustainability. That's great. Thank you. And I have a question for Dow. Let's talk about diversity. First of all, I want to acknowledge how diverse our group is. So thank you for being so diverse and so amazing. And the entire group today is amazing to see how many countries. I've been counting and then I lost count. So I would like to talk about new AI technology, ChatGPT. There's a lot of controversy that we had today. But do you think ChatGPT can diversify us or otherwise?
I think it matters how we handle and use ChatGPT, right? If you just take the answers that you ask ChatGPT and you don't think about it, then you're not diverse and we are basically mindless and not thought provokers. But if you use it to say, what would the 80% who don't think do with the answer, and how can I be different and take what I'm learning to answer it with a little twist, then you can actually be probably more diverse with some information. Knowledge is key. It's what you do with the knowledge. It's what you do with the answers to become diverse. And also how you explain it, right? How you emotify it as a person. When you can't tell a story and you're just reading information, it's not diverse. It's not interesting. You have to learn how to tell stories, and I don't think ChatGPT can do that as well if you don't bring that information into a story that relates to the audience or yourself.
Amazing. Wonderful. And Marcia, to you. I scanned the room. Again, I think it's only 15% of women that are here today and women leaders, and the still gap is very big. So as a woman CIO, if you can share your personal challenges and stories and how to change that dynamic and actually help increase the number of women in technology.
Thank you, Willie, for the question. You know, the last few months, I answered this question a lot. But as a woman, as a CTO, I feel responsible for share and to show to another young tech woman they can be both executive and family, and they can be fulfilled of a happy family and business. We are working in Quali to improve the diversity, not only the gender, but all kind of diversity. I'm very glad to see now how companies are looking for that and how they are going to see results from diversity. Diversity is not too easy. It's not easy to manage diversity. But of course, the diversity brings the results, and it's clear now. And I'm very happy when I can talk to young tech women and say to them, they can be both. They can be executive and can be a woman, a family, and whatever they want. They don't need to choose. I think this is the most important thing. I have a lot of women who work with me, and some of them ask me, oh, it's time to have a baby or not, and my career, how can I manage her? But you can manage both, and it's your mother of four, you know. I'm too And don't choose, just go and do the best and things will be happy.
Thank you, Marcia. And also what Dao, you said that it's not just the mindset, but it also how can we educate kids in the schools and go beyond STEM, right? How can we be more fusion? Can you comment on that?
Sure, I think one of the reasons women, and we only have 15-20% CEOs, 15-20% women in this room, is that we say STEM. You have to be in STEM to get into IT. Well, I wasn't in STEM. I was going to be President of the United States and change the 22nd Amendment in the Constitution of the United States. I was the youth governor of the state of Minnesota at 17. But STEM really is not the only way into IT, right? It's using IT to build a business, using what you know in finance or legal and creating disruption within business, the car business with Uber, or Instacart with groceries. So if women can sit there and think about that, what do I know, what's my expertise, and how do I use technology to become a technologist to create a niche and stand out and be different, that's the way to have more women IT. How many of you men have women working for you? Only a few. I'm surprised. How many of you have a woman as your succession plan to replace you, right? I'm in a lot of these panels about diversity and how do you make yourself CEO. Well, I had to quit a Fortune 500 company in order to start my own to become CEO, right? Because you do get into glass ceilings, and it's not just a woman, it's not just a man. We all run into glass ceilings, right? We have to create our own ladder. But if we help, like I've listened to men say, well, I delegate, I give them these responsibilities, they're gonna negotiate for me. I said, first of all, that's the first word that's wrong. You didn't delegate, you need to empower. And our language needs to change in how we speak, how we help. And if it wasn't for a bunch of men, I would have never started this company who said to me, you're a rule breaker, but you're smart, you might as well start your own company. So in the mode of digitization and cloud, just like virtualization, instead of just retraining men, we should be training women like we have at Oak Rocket. 70% of the women in our team are women. From the hospitality space, from the restaurant space, as accountants, we should be retraining our workforce always, no matter what, to bring them into STEM, whether that's in sales, whether that's in legal, HR, they are IT if they play a role in a technology company.
Wonderful, thank you. And question about biases. I know we're talking about data and a lot of future artificial intelligence, but there's a lot of still biases out there. And if you think about data specifically and data research, this is a question for Gustavo. So AI Now study revealed that there are less than 15% of AI researchers who are women. With a world of customers and consumers that actually divided into women and men, but male-dominated research and mindset, how can we trust that results, that the data and it's the biases in data, or it's actually pretty diverse?
Yes, I have my own mic. Yeah. No one else should use this one, please. You know, that 15%, the number is terrible. But not 15% of AI researchers, I think that 15% of any research of STEM, technology, matters, science, researchers are women, for example. And worse than that is that probably all the data generated by these studies, if you look into that data, probably only 15% of the whole amount of information represents women as well. So we have a lot of bias to remove from that. And data is critical for this new generation of artificial intelligence applications, not the new ones, the old ones as well. But we have to ensure that we have a more inclusive ways of collection and analyzing data to prevent that bias to be inserted in all the information. But you know, the data is a representation. Most of the data represents the world we live, and the real problem is the status quo of the world. The world is it's not leading by who should lead the world. The men, they dominate all the leadership, almost all the leadership companies, IT companies. That's terrible. We should change the status quo. That's the real problem. And I don't know if there is an easy way to do it. If it was easy, maybe it should have been done already. But we have to, as current leaders, put all the women in the place they deserve to be. That is the leadership positions, not the women, only the women, but any underrepresented group. A more diverse leadership in IT, specifically speaking specifically of IT, will create a more diverse and unbiased data for the world, and that will prevent us to perpetuate this inequality we have right now.
Thank you, Gustavo. I agree with you. And I know we have 12 minutes left, and I want to jump to the funnest topic, which is innovation in AI. We all heard, Amy, there's no middle ground. There is either lovers or haters. So my question to the audience, and let me read it to you. With all the empowerment of AI that gives us, does it scare you? Raise your hand. Nobody. Oh, here you go. Yes. Would you mind giving me a microphone, please? Would love to understand why, from your perspective. Thank you for raising your hand. Nobody's scared here. I love that.
Sorry, guys.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. Be honest. Please, please.
Hi, it's Ernie Molinaro. I just think with Amy's presentation, there's quite a bit of unknown. So that's the scary part, right? Did anyone see the 60 Minutes? Yeah. So the scary part with the 60 Minutes was they were interviewing the CEO of Google, and they were talking about ChatGPT. And they gave ChatGPT a topic, and I think it was something like, in a 20-page dissertation, talk about recessions or the causes of recessions. And it 5 seconds came out with 20 pages. And at the end of the paper, it had 3 reference books. And it had the authors of those 3 reference books. 60 Minutes went back and checked those reference books. They didn't exist. The authors didn't exist. ChatGPT just made it up. That's concerning. That's scary. So, there's my answer.
Thank you. Alexis, do you want to comment? Maybe about superintelligence while we're getting there. Sure.
Hi. I think it's petrifying. There's nothing controlling what we're going to be able to do, and we don't even know what we're going to be able to do. And that's the scarier part. Like my question to Amy about social media, there's a lot of lies out there. And these systems are going to gather all these lies, all this misinformation, all this data that's not checked, that's not validated, that never existed in the first place because some other AI created that. It's scary, and there needs to be a humanistic kind of component. I'm not going to say a law, maybe a protocol, maybe something like that, but there has to be something that kind of controls what's going to happen. Otherwise, it's going to get a little out of control.
I love that answer. Yes, Dow.
History is remade all the time. We read books and we believe they're truths, but it's only the truth of a perspective. So I don't know honestly how it's any different than ChatGPT, right? I think it's our job to verify, our job to see the outputs and validate information just like social media. So there's a lot of books out there with lots of lies. No one's validating it either.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Yes.
May I? Yes.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. No one's validating the information for it to be printed all the time, unless it's Wikipedia or an encyclopedia. But.
Yes, yes. And I have a daughter and a child, of course, is very curious about everything and AI too. She loves to use our home device for do a lot of questions in sequence. And as a father, I'm a little concerned about the quality of the answers that she receives. But no panic. We need to remember that humans are in control. And I believe that organizations and society in general will set some limits to use for AI, driven by ethics and responsibility. Then, I believe the next years we will see a lot of different channels connected with AI, omni-channel tools, interactive platforms, but always respecting diversity. And this is amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Roger, I have a question for you. We're in Boston. I know that you've been visiting universities here, and there's a project at MIT about humanizing robotics. Can you give us a little hint of what is the future of that project looks like?
Yeah, well, I can't say everything, but it was really cool to be here, not only with you all, but getting a chance yesterday. I spent time with Harvard. They have a new group called D-Cubed, which is digital design and data, and they're beginning to look at the future in that space and what they're trying to what they're trying to achieve with all the things we're talking about, actually. And it's really cool if you get a chance to go over to their facility there. There's about 12 labs inside there, and those labs are, state of the art and extremely advanced. And we're looking at how we partner together on the future of how we help our planet, we help the world, and go through this massive energy transition and what the future of that looks like as we reimagine energy. I talked a little bit about human experience design, where we say that we're working to harness human experience design to reimagine energy for people on our planet. And that's one side. And so there's some really interesting things there. And on top of that is, how do we leverage AI to help us get there? And so Harvard and ourselves, others are working hard to figure that out, or beginning that partnership. Tomorrow, I'll be at MIT, like you mentioned. We have a long-standing partnership with them. And as you were talking about, how do we look at humanizing robotics? I don't know if this mic's going out. If I need it, can I borrow one of those mics? Not this one. Can anybody pass a mic? Thank you. All right. Something's wrong with that one. So I'll try to be brief, but what I can tell you is kind of the perspective that we're looking at, right? So if you look at robotics and AI, this is kind of a reverse way of, I don't know if it's a reverse way of thinking to you, I don't know if it's controversial, but the way that we're looking at it, or I'm looking at it with my teams, is for a long time in our customer journeys, in our user experience or CX, we've built personas for people, right? We've built personas out, and we've mapped out what these potential people are going to be, these potential buyers, potential customers, and so forth. And we also look at, even internally, when we look at the EX side of things, the enterprise experience on the inside, we have employees and we have different people in the value chain or the supply chain of all the things that need to happen, right? And then we build personas on how to design for them. But the future, what we need to be thinking about is our autonomous workforce. And that autonomous workforce has needs. They have needs just like humans. And we are working hard to figure out, can we build into that autonomous workforce, and those, in our company we have robots going up walls, through pipes, underwater, fleets of drones, AR, XR, MR, we've got the Boston Dynamics dogs running around, it's insane. But that may be the same in your companies. But one of the things I found is that how do we begin to teach empathy into these AI trained models in these robots for humans? And how can they actually work for us and care for us in some way or another, in some artificial empathy is what we call it. But then there's a reverse side. And you'll see this like with the autonomous vehicles that may be running around San Francisco where people are stoning them and breaking their windows. In the future, it's inevitable we'll have these autonomous workers and autonomous beings with us everywhere we go. So is there a place where we need to have empathy for them as well? And should we have empathy for them? Should we begin to think of them as them? And there's this whole concept of how not only do we humanize robots or AI for us, but how do we help them or how do we help humans understand them as well and those needs? And so that's kind of the depth that we're going into.
Thank you, brilliant. I think humans are way too selfish to care about robots. I'm just just thinking about it. Question about, just a thought-provoking question. You went to the future, and I just want to go back in the past and think about Industrial Revolution in the United States, how everything got standardized. And a lot of foreigners probably can see that the United States kind of lost a sense of style because of standardization. So my question is, do you feel that artificial intelligence and everything that is happening is going to really commoditize humans and make us standard? So we're not going to stand out. We'll be very, like one gray mass, because there was ChatGPT, we're using the same tools, and we're losing creative and creative thinking. So anybody wants to comment on that?
Could.
Roger.
Yeah. So I think I think there's an interesting thing that's rising, and we talked about this maybe a little bit off the topic, but if you look at the value chain or the supply chain of what's going on and all this rise of AI and robotics that will be in the supply chain, you're going to see a shift, and we're going to see a shift in the way that we do commerce in the world. And right now, we and many of you sell potentially to a buyer or somebody in a company that might buy your services or your products. But in the future, your buyer may be a machine, and you might have a machine customer. And so and actually not even in the future, it's probably now, where there is an AI that's been trained to review your bids and to make decisions based upon what you've submitted, and then it will choose which buyer or which product that they want to buy in the supply chain, and then that AI will trigger an autonomous chain of events that happens autonomously, right? So now they have chosen you and your products, and now they have shipped that product or sent that product somewhere, and it's inserted it somewhere, and so forth all the way along the way. And no human was involved in that. And so, what's that? Well, yeah, Wall Street. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's happening now, right? But it's going to be much more common. And so what will happen is then your companies will begin to learn how to outrank RankBrain, if you will, like Gary's company and Mike's, and you will begin to figure out, okay, how do I now manipulate that AI to pick us? And then it will be this constant battle between what is true and what's not true, and what's real, what's not real, of who's going to be chosen, who's not going to be chosen. But what's going to happen is then they will duke it out, and those machine customers will rise. So where do we insert the humans in all this, potentially, right? And so I think that's where we have to work hard now. Somebody said that earlier, they're scared, right, if we don't do something now. So I think this is our chance now to be able to embed as much possible into these machine customers, into this ecosystem or this supply chain, of having that humanized touch. If we design first for humans first, not for tech's sake, but for human's sake, then we have a chance. We still have a chance. But it's getting closer and closer where that window's closing.
It's all in our hands, right? I think. Is it in our hands, or it's in
what is there what?
Now, making a change is all in our hands. I think if we really put the right standards about how do we really use it, and critical thinking, I think that's going to be a great future for us. Right? Indeed. I'm an opportunistic person. Well, that wraps up our panel, I think. Thank you so much, everybody, for staying so long. And let's go on a beautiful cruise.